Hey, it's the Top 40 Weekly Team. In this video, we'll be doing a countdown of the top 10 1970s artists. Be sure to check out top40weekly.com for the full list of the top 100 70s artists. To start, at number 10 we have The Who. The band released just 4 albums during the 1970s, with 2 making it to number 2 in the US Billboard 200 album charts. At number 9 on the list we've got James Brown. Many of his singles made it into the US Top 40 during the 1970s. At number 8, we've got Queen, led by Freddie Mercury. The group released 7 albums in the 1970s. 2 albums made it to number 1 in the UK's official album charts. In the 7th spot, we have Marvin Gaye. In the 70s, Marvin Gaye released a total of 6 albums, including the famous Let's Get It On, which made it to number 2 on the US album charts. During the same time, 2 singles made it to number 1 on the US Top 40. At 6 overall, we've got the Eagles. The band released 6 albums in the 70s. 3 of their 1970s albums made it to number 1 in the album chart, and 5 tracks released during the 70s went to number 1 in the US Top 40. Cracking the top 5, we've got the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones released 6 studio albums, 2 of which went to number 1 on the album chart. They also had 3 tracks that made it to number 1 in the US Top 40 in the 70s as well. Pink Floyd checks in at number 4. They released 9 albums, including their acclaimed The Dark Side of the Moon, which sold 15 million units in the United States alone and made it to number 1 in the US album charts. In total, 3 albums went to number 1 in the US Billboard 200 during this time. Just one song, Another Brick in the Wall, made it to number 1 in the US Top 40 during the 1970s. Making our top 3 is Elton John. During the 1970s, Elton John released a total of 12 albums, 6 of which made it to number 1 in the album charts. 6 singles also made it to number 1 in the US Top 40 between 1970 and 1979. At 2 on the list, we have Led Zeppelin. The band released a total of 8 studio albums, 6 of which were released during the 1970s. From 1970 to 1979, Led Zeppelin was nominated for 5 Grammy Awards. And at number 1 overall is Stevie Wonder. In 1970, Stevie Wonder was just 20 years old, but released a total of 8 studio albums with 5 tracks reaching number 1 in the 70s. Between 1970 and 1979, Stevie Wonder took home a total of 12 Grammy Awards as well. We hope you enjoyed our list. Be sure to subscribe for more videos.